do it right. I didn't do it right.
No intro. We're
No
jumping
intro.
into this thing.
Yeah. Without Ryan, yet again, shows just how badly of a screw up we are. Screwed up yet again.
Can you play the intro now? Just like randomly?
It's just so awkward. It's just like we're just sitting there and we just play the intro.
Well, all right. Start us off.
Okay, we're just gonna
kick us off.
I mean, at this rate, it is. I mean, we screw up once a week at least. So, and all of my stuff is just coming through. All my. Can you hear that?
No.
Okay, good. Oh my god, I'm getting all my notifications for everything. For some reason, my computer's so slow. But yeah, shows off on the right foot there. But welcome to the Week 0 podcast, everyone. Ryan is not here, and so it's just the two of us. As usual, I'm your host, Connor. I fear nothing except that thing. ODU, that thing frightens me. Doherty. Mm-hmm. And Lucas, Ducks by 13 McKnight. He will not change it until that game has been played on Saturday night. It's going to be so great. So many good games on Saturday.
They're saying it's going to be they're saying it's going to be the best one ever. They said that last year too, but
they said that didn't they say that like 2018 when it was Florida State versus Alabama and it was like Alabama was 1, Florida State was 3, and then Blackman broke his leg Francois broke his leg.
Yeah,
they're saying that was like the best game ever.
They ended up winning. Alabama ended up beating them by like 1 million or something. Was that game?
Probably. I think it was only like 28-12 or something, but it was a lot more of a domination than just that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway. Great start. But I think we're just going to immediately get into it. The biggest news. And I love the timing of this. Instead of doing it in the offseason to appease us and give us talking about during the offseason, like, no, we're going to start this. And we're going to announce this as the season has started and take away from all the games and stuff. And so a unanimous decision was made. The college football playoff will expand to 12 teams starting in 2026. It is fantastic news. We do not have any proper details, I think, at this time how it's going to work. I truly fear they're going to make them all neutral sites, which is the absolute wrong decision to make. It should be home games.
The higher seed gets the home until you get to the Final Four.
Yeah, it should be. Oh, there's Ryan. Wait.
There's Ryan.
Is he here?
We'll see. We'll give him a second.
So it should be 1 through 4 get the bye. You get the top 6. So the Power 5 each get their conference winner in there, right? Then you get the top group of 6. Then you get 6 at large, right? The top 4 get byes. Then 5 through 8 get to host a game on campus. Then 1 through 4 get to host another game on campus, and then you have neutral sites for the semifinals and then the championship game.
So
that's
that's
how I think it should be.
So wait, I'm trying to think. So it's basically the higher seed gets the home. It's the same thing as NFL playoffs.
Yeah, it would pretty much be exactly that, except instead of having the conference championships be hosted by the higher seeded team, the semifinals would then be how it is now, where the semifinals have neutral sites, and then the championship games are neutral site as well.
So if you're going to have 4 byes, how are you going to are you going to so essentially by 2026 we are assuming that we're probably going to have only a Power 4 rather than a Power 5. Like, are we assuming that the Pac-12 is going to fold completely by 2026? Who's this?
And now Ryan's on here twice. I don't know what's going on. I think he's trying to do it on his laptop and then on his phone. I'm just going to remove him.
Kick one of them. Yeah, just remove both of them.
We'll wait until he comes on. So, let me put
are we going to – do you think it'll be a Power 4 by that point to where the 4 Power 4 conferences will get that bye week no matter what?
The weird thing is maybe. I mean, the weird thing is like the realignment stuff. Sorry, Josh. Yeah, we started a little early. We were waiting on Ryan. Josh, you also need to send me your pick'ems. I sent them to you. You need to send them to me, man. So I don't know. I mean, at this point, I think realignment, all that realignment talk has kind of slowed down a bit. We're kind of now in that lull where I don't think we're going to hear anything realignment stuff until the off season. And even then, it doesn't sound like there's really any much more that's going to potentially happen at this point, at least for another year or so. Because I think really teams are waiting to see what's going to happen if USC and like there was UCLA saying, oh, the thing was the board of governors saying, oh, we could potentially block them from going to the Big Ten. I think is what they were saying.
So the same thing for Oregon.
Exactly. So
governor said the same thing.
So we're and Ryan's still not here. But I think at this point, it's really we just need to wait. And I think teams are waiting to see what's happening. That's why Oregon and Washington are kind of in a holding pattern with the Big Ten, because the Big Ten's waiting to see what USC and UCLA is going to happen, whether they're going to be blocked from joining the Big Ten, or if
they did just have their meetings, both of them. Oregon had their meeting, I want to say last week, and then Washington was like 2 days ago or something like that.
With the Big Ten?
With the Big Ten, yeah.
Yeah, so I think we're once these two huge moves, UCLA, USC, Oklahoma, Texas, once those kind of go through, and if like Oklahoma, Texas, I think we all can agree is going to go through. UCLA, USC is the one where we're going to have to wait and see if they're going to go through. If they don't go through, then the Pac-12 is going to probably stay alive, and there's going to be a Power 5 like normal. But if they do go through, then I think the Pac-12 is done, and we will be down to a Power 4 potentially. But we'll just have to wait. I think right now we're just waiting to see, and then. But I do think it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
I'm thinking for your 12 playoff teams is you couldn't make those say it's a Power 4 at that point, which I truly believe it'll end up being a Power 4 at that point. Say we have your Power 4 winners, automatic bid, you're going to be in the playoff no matter what type deal.
Even if you have like a 2 or 3 loss team that somehow wins the conference championship, they still get an automatic bid.
I think you have to. to. There's no other way. There's no other way to do it, because if you leave out, say, a 3-win or a 3-loss like
Pitt. Like I think they were.
Yeah.
Were they 2? What were they? 2 or 3 losses last year? They were 2 losses.
I think they had 3 losses, or like a Utah. Utah had 3 losses last year, and they won the Pac-12. So you get a team like a Utah that has 3 losses versus a team.
Right. Just keep going.
Versus a team like, say, I don't know, say like a 2-loss SEC team, or even an undefeated like. Group of 5 team. I think you still have to have that Pac-12 winner, because it is the level of competition is much higher. Unfortunately, it just is.
Yeah, but the group of 5 is at this point with 12 teams. I think they're going to have best of group of 5 will make it. You're going to have that. You're going to have that top 6. For now, I think you'll have conference winners. So let me just tell you, this is what potentially would have been the top 12 if this past year, right?
Okay.
These are the matchups, right? So you have. Okay, I'm just going to give you the matchups, right? So the top 4 would have been Alabama, Michigan, Cincinnati, and then this person decided to give Baylor as the 4, right? Then they had Georgia as the 5, playing Pittsburgh as the 12.
So
then they have Notre Dame at 6, playing Utah as the 11. Ohio State as the 7 seed, playing Michigan State as the 10 seed. And then you have Ole Miss as the 8 seed, playing Oklahoma State as the 9 seed. So Georgia, Ole Miss, Ohio State, and Notre Dame would have hosted games. Then and then they have the Orange Bowl. Yeah. And then you would have the Alabama would then host the winner of Ole Miss, Oklahoma State. Georgia or Baylor would host winner of Georgia, Pitt. Cincinnati would host winner of Notre Dame, Utah. Michigan would have hosted Ohio State, Michigan State. Michigan versus Michigan State or Ohio State for a change in the playoff. That would have been nuts.
That'd be crazy. So I mean,
and then you would have had the normal Orange Bowl, Cotton Bowl, neutral site game as the semifinals, as it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you would have to have the Power 5 or the Power 4 by that time. Even if it is still the Power 5, you would have to have the winners as automatic bids, regardless of where they're ranked. Unfortunately, because you could still have like a group of 5 team that maybe didn't win their conference or won their conference, but it was a crappier conference and they end 12th, but then you have like,
well, I mean, you have
say they were one loss.
You would have had Pitt as the ACC winner as the 12 seed, Utah as the Pac-12 winner as the 11 seed. So they wouldn't get the automatic top 4. They would still be within.
Well,
they would still be in the top 12, but they would be ranked lower.
Right. What I'm saying is like, say this year, just for shits and giggles, SMU only has 1 loss.
Yeah.
But they don't win their conference. They end 12th in the country, but then you have, like, say, Utah with 3 losses. They end 13th in the country, but they're a Pac-12 champion. You would have to keep out SMU and throw Utah into that 12 seed. You would have to. Yeah. I don't think there's a world where you could leave out a Pac-12 champion or an ACC champion over a team, even though they are, really good and deserving, deserving of that. Maybe their 1 loss was against Cincinnati or something like that, like last year, Cincinnati, a team that didn't lose a game. You still can't leave out that Pac-12 champion, which is unfortunate because maybe SMU wins that game. Who knows? Or, one of these Power 5 teams wins that game. But I think that's the only way that you could possibly do it.
Well, I feel like this will be one. Well, there's gonna be a handful of things this will do. One, for these teams, like you wouldn't have Kenny Pickett sitting out the bowl game for Pitt if they're playing in against Georgia in a playoff game, even if it's at Georgia. Like, these players will not be sitting out doing what they've been doing now to try and save themselves for the NFL draft because there's nothing to play for. Now they have something to play for, so that's going to be good. We're going to see better players continuing to play for these teams, right? 2, you also get instead of having, probably the most famous example of a team that should have made it was the TCU versus what was that, Baylor? It was that TCU Baylor in like 2014, and then neither team made it.
It was TCU. So, I think TCU was the biggest snub that year. It was like TCU versus Ohio State or something like that. And they chose Ohio State.
Yeah, but now you have, instead of those 12 team, instead of those, you have to be within that that 4 to 6 range to potentially make that final spot. Now you have teams in that 11 to 15, even 16 range, maybe even all the way down to 20 if they can pull a major upset to jump up to get up to 12 or something to try and fight for it. You know what I mean? But I feel like you're going to have, but at the same time, you might have to choose, like you said, between a worse team that maybe has 2 or 3 losses. Like, if you have like a 2 or 3 loss team, if you have like a 2-loss team from like the Big Ten, like a Michigan State, right? Are you going to put them in over a 1 or an undefeated team from the group of 5? You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's going to be its own controversy too.
My only issue with the whole thing is, honestly, I like an 8-team playoff better. I'll never argue with more college football. More college football, the merrier. I love it, especially when, like you said, they're actually going to have something to play for. It's not going to just be like a pointless like Hawaii Bowl or like the GoDaddy.com Bowl that nobody cares about.
Or having players sit out of the Con Bowl or having out of the Rose Bowl. Of these big
right,
games.
especially when you're fans of a team that have good players, like say, years we've all seen it where like a good player is sitting out of a bowl game and you actually enjoy to watch football and you enjoy to watch your favorite players and your favorite team, but now they're probably going to lose in this bowl game because Kayvon Thibodeau is not going to play, or you know, like
Kenny Pickett and
Kenny
Jordan
Pickett's
Addison
not
don't
going to
play
play.
for Pitt.
So I do like that, but the issue that I have with the 12 team is I think there is much too big of a difference between number 12 and number 1 than there have been in previous years.
Even 12 to like 4 is a pretty big difference in season.
I think it's a much, much bigger difference nowadays. And, you know, we're going to see that. And obviously, I'm a huge Oregon fan, so I'm never going to go against my Ducks. But we're going to see that this weekend, 11 versus 3. Of course, it is the preseason ranking, so we don't really know how good each of these teams are going to be. But I just think that, like, other than, like, previous years, I would say probably 10 years ago, there was less of a difference between number 12 and number 1 as there is now. Like, number 12, who finished number 12 last year, you said?
It would have been Pitt. So you would have Pitt as the ACC champ and Utah as the 11 seed.
So you look at Pitt as the number 12 team last year. If they would have faced off against an Alabama, who I believe was the 1 seed heading into the college football playoff, it would, I mean, thrashing. It wouldn't have even been close. And I'm sorry for the Pitt fans out there, but you guys all know it. We all know it. It wouldn't have been a close matchup. So that's something that I worry about a little bit when it comes to this 12-team playoff compared to an 8-team playoff, because I think there's a little bit of a lesser gap between number 8 last year. Like, who finished number 8?
Over after the season?
Yeah, just like at the end.
After Notre Dame?
Notre Dame finished number 8?
11-2. So you would have had – so
I think a Notre Dame versus Alabama would be –
but Notre Dame versus Georgia in a best of 8 in an 8-team.
Well, I'm just saying, like, the difference between Notre Dame and Alabama is way less than the difference between Pittsburgh and Alabama.
Yeah,
so there's
the final 12, you would have had Utah, who went 10-4, so they were a 4-loss team at 12. But that's after all the bowl games and stuff.
That's after the Rose Bowl, yeah, which was a great game.
Yeah, so
that's just what I think. I don't know. I mean, it'll be cool to watch. It'll be fun to watch, but I think an 18 playoff is more legit.
Would have been a massacre, probably. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, we got 4 years before we even get there. Hopefully, we'll get more details, and hopefully, they do the right thing and give these higher seeded teams, the chance to host a game at home, because that would be huge for some of these schools. Like if you have Cincinnati as a 4 or 5, like a 5 seed last year, they would have been a 3 seed. So you have Cincinnati hosting Notre Dame, right, after they beat Notre Dame at home, at Notre Dame, right? But then you get a rematch at Cincinnati, right? Like that would have been a huge game for Cincinnati. I've been like probably their biggest game of all time. You have Baylor hosting Georgia at Baylor, and that's kind of Baylor's kind of comeback after what happened with Art Briles and stuff, right? Then you get, you would get Alabama versus Ole Miss or Oklahoma State. That's a pretty good game, I think. And then of course you get Michigan State versus Ohio State or Michigan State. That'd been nuts in the big house. Like you get Ohio State, Michigan, or you get Ohio State, Michigan for the chance to be in the playoff or in the semifinals. Like that's you want maximum number of viewers. You make that the last game of those 4 to be played. You put that at 7:00, on ABC or something. Make that the primetime game, right? So I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see. Like I said, we got 4 years. We got plenty of time to figure it out. Hopefully, they kind of give us some stuff. So yeah, we're actually gonna go into this is kind of something we were gonna talk about. It'll be mentioned a little bit later. But Scott Frost and the Cornhuskers Scott Frost Huskers away, another close game. So after this game, we kind of started saying we're going to call it Cornhuskering when a team kind of gives away a game like that. I don't think I've ever seen. The kind of funny thing is the onside kick attempt only decreased their win chance by like 1% at the time it happened, so it didn't actually affect. Of course, that's just the predictive model. What it really did is they gave Northwestern a huge amount of momentum by allowing them to recover super deep in Nebraska territory. So easy score there, and then the game was pretty much effectively over from there.
Well, and what's funny about this game is that we saw the same exact thing happen last night in the Pitt, West Virginia game. Now, I think the Nebraska.
But they didn't do an onside, did they?
It was the same thing. No, it wasn't the onside, but we saw the play that essentially sealed the game was a dropped pass turned into interception.
Oh yeah, to Ford Ween, who Ford Ween, if West Virginia was continuing to play, I would have chosen Ford Ween as he probably would have been my stunner because he was having a great game, and then his hands just went to bricks.
Incredible game, and then they just that one play they just turned into bricks, and I couldn't believe that guy almost caught the pass at the end of that. But
that was a great pass.
It was basically the same exact game. I mean, back and forth till the end, and then just a tipped interception ended the whole thing, and it was just. It sucks. I feel bad for Scott Frost. Obviously, I'm a little bit. Oh boy.
Oh my God. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Ryan, you look like you're from 1995, dude.
Can he even talk?
He's smiling, I think, but we can't hear him. Oh my God, this is not good.
Ryan, you might have to just sit this one out, my guy.
Yeah, you might have to. So Ryan just moved, and his internet's screwed up. All three of us are actually moving pretty soon. Ryan's already moved. Lucas is. When are you going to move? When are you actually moving?
In like 15 days or so.
I'm moving next Friday. So I'll literally have moved. I'll drive down there that day and get our stuff and get moved in and probably be broadcasting our show that night from my new apartment. And Ryan's gone again. I don't know why, but this reminds me. Did you ever watch SEC Shorts?
No.
No? Oh my God, you need to. They did a what if SEC Shorts was done in 1998, and this is when Florida was known for the running gun offense. And so one guy just keeps running off the screen after each sentence. He's like, sorry, our coach is rotating us after each sentence. I'm just like, that's exactly what's going on with Ryan. He's gone after each sentence. But yeah, I mean, Scott Frost, Nebraska looked like they were going to run away with it. I mean, how quickly they scored, and then they kind of allowed Northwestern to stick around. What were your thoughts on Casey Thompson? How did he look?
I thought he looked pretty good. I mean, his only he threw the 2 interceptions, but I believe both of them were tipped interceptions, so they weren't like true picks. I think maybe the first one was, but the second one was definitely tipped. He looked like he was playing really well. He was running all over the place. You know, he was doing his thing. I think what won the game was coaching on Northwestern's part. I think that's what won the game essentially.
And Ryan's on his phone.
I think that's what won the game essentially. But I mean, hats off to Ryan Helinski. I mean, that guy he played the game of his career. He looked so sharp, the best I've ever seen for Northwestern. I think moving forward.
I mean, we saw the graphic. They're gonna go 9. They're gonna win they're gonna win the division. And then they're going to go 3-9 next year. They're going to go 3-9 again next year.
3-9 again.
No, that's how they win it. They win the division, they go 3-9. Win the division, go 3-9. That's literally what's happened in the last 4 years. So that's how it's going to go.
I definitely. Yeah,
it was great. It was just good. I mean, oh my God, it was just fun just to be back, and that was a great game to watch. Really good game to show the people of Ireland, I guess. Instead of having to see Notre Dame kick the shit out of Navy like it would have been 2 years ago. That would have been a good excuse for me to have gone to Ireland for a third time to see that game, though. My mom and I probably wouldn't do that after the pandemic.
There was every bit of the 51,000 that are allowed to be in that stadium. Like, I mean, they packed that stadium.
Dude, they ran out. Did you see they ran out of beer? They legitimately ran out of. Or no, it wasn't that. Well, they did.
They
run
were
out
giving
of beer,
away free beer
because the electronic system went down, so they couldn't. So they were just giving away beer for free. Then the beer, of course, ran out because, of course, it's Ireland. And I remember seeing someone say, "Oh yeah, some guy walked past him with two pints of gin or 2 pints of vodka and some tonic, like going down the aisles or something." But yeah, it was a great game. I guess for some reason we're talking about UNLV.
Well,
I guess
do we think Scott Frost, like how long do you think Nebraska sticks with him further? Well, if because I mean Nebraska, they are the first team in college football history to win to lose 7 straight games by less
7 points or less.
Yeah,
like
7 points or
less. That's crazy.
7 straight games.
I mean, but at what point does that go from bad luck to bad coaching, or vice versa? Why does it go from bad coaching to bad luck, right? Because they fired Bo Pelini, and he was what, 67? He was like 67 or like 65 and 27, I think was his record when they fired him.
He had a crazy.
That's a great record.
Yeah,
that's a crazy good record. They fired him, right? And now I saw something. He would have to win 50 straight games to even get close to equaling that record for Scott Frost. Like, you know, I understand. Unfortunately, that's kind of how it's going to be. Okay, I'll see you later, Luke. Yeah, Josh thinks he'll be gone. Yeah, I think
they can turn things around. I think they can do better. And we've heard a little bit about this on the Bustin' with the Boys podcast with Will Compton. Obviously, it was a Nebraska Cornhusker in college. You know, he's been talking about it a lot, and he thinks that Bo Pelini should have never got fired. And I think part of this keeping Scott Frost for this long has to do with the fact that they got rid of Bo Pelini sooner than what they wanted to, sooner than what they needed to, you know, because his last season, he won 9 games.
Yeah.
The last season he was at Nebraska. So I think they're holding on to Scott Frost for a little too long. I think that Frost is a good coach. I think that he can be a good coach. He's just not in the program that he should.
Do you think he should have stayed an extra year at UCF potentially?
Yeah, I think maybe he should have stayed at UCF. I think maybe he shouldn't have taken a head coaching job so quickly because he was the offensive coordinator coordinator for the Ducks.
He also was like he went back to Nebraska, which adds extra pressure, right?
Yeah, and I think we saw a lot of that we've seen a lot of that from guys like Willie Taggart. He wasn't a player at Florida State, but he grew up a Florida State fan. He grew up in Florida. It's his home place. He wanted to be at Florida State, and they sucked. They went down the hill.
It's the same thing with like Shane Beamer. Like Beamer, some people thought if Fuente had been fired a year earlier, that Beamer would have taken over. But I feel like that would have hurt him even more, having to kind of take the place of his dad, right, for Frank.
Yeah.
But obviously, college football has changed now. When Frank Beamer, like he didn't get it going for like 7 years. Like that's like he was like his 6th year. I think he was like 2-9-1. The team was bad, and then he finally kind of figured it out that year. So like now it's obviously you got to be able to perform within like the first 2 years. If you don't get it within like 2 years, you're going to be on hot seat. You're going to be up by like the 3rd year. You know, Fuente was able to last a little bit longer because he had those 2 great seasons to start off with. And 2018, up until like the ODU loss, was looking like a potentially another good season. And then, you know, that loss happened. Plus we lost Josh Jackson, who was our starting quarterback for the season, to a broken leg. So like that kind of sent that season down the toilet, but we were like 8-5 that year. So that was an okay season, but then it just went bad from there. So you mean
it's crazy how quickly college football coaches can get canned because, like, you look at a guy like if we go to the Oregon route, Mark Helfrich, his first year coaching.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, so after Chip left in, I want to say 2012, his first year coaching in 2013, they had an okay season, and then the previous year, and then the next year, they ended up going to the national championship and losing. Then the next year after that, they ended up having the infamous loss in the Alamo Bowl to TCU.
Oh, they blew. Was it like 35-point lead or something? It was like 35-0.
Yeah, and
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to. I'm just bringing that stuff up just to make sure I can remember what year you're talking about.
Yeah, so it was that year, but he still won 9 games. He won 9 games that year. And then the year after that, it was a complete rebuild. They won only 4 games, and then he got canned. So I think it's like it's one of those things where
I think
everybody is looking at Dabo.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking at Dabo Swinney, Nick Saban, Les Miles, these coaches that they get their job and then maybe have like a workaround season, and then the next season they're going to the Fiesta Bowl, winning Fiesta Bowls, winning national championships.
That's what happened to Saban. They lost to Louisiana Monroe, Alabama in 2007, his first year.
He lost 6 games in his first season.
Yeah,
they lost 6 games they were 7-6. It's funny because I just watched
guarantee you that one season by itself probably accounts for like a good 20% of his career losses, just those 6 losses.
Sure. Mm-hmm. I was watching this YouTube video that says it was every single one of Nick Saban's losses, and half the video was just that first season. And then he just has like no losses, pretty much no losses.
He'll have like one loss here, and then you have like Alabama in 2013, the kick 6. They had 2 losses, and they lose that game, the kick 6, and they lose to Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, that's a bad season for Alabama and stuff," and it's just funny.
3 losses, but yeah, everybody expects the Dabo Sweeneys, the Nick Sabans, and I think that Nebraska is holding on to Scott Frost for too long. I really do. But at the same time, like, props to them for giving him some time. I mean, a lot of college football programs don't do that.
Yeah. So for some reason, Ryan put these together. I don't know why UNLV. I don't know why he has them up here. Oh, I think he's talking about the celebration, the slot machine. That was pretty creative. I'm just glad, but it seems like, we have all these turnover stuff now. At least Miami got rid of the turnover chain. Akron had a turnover pencil. They had a pencil.
The turnover pencil, dude. No fun Mario Cristobal coming into Miami and changing things up, getting rid of the turnover chain. I think it's cool. I thought it was cool. I mean UNLV is UNLV though. Like, I mean, if you're gonna do it in a game against like Alabama or something, I get it. But when you're playing like Idaho State or whoever the hell they played, like
they're also playing in Allegiant Stadium. I just fully expect that that's actually on the sideline there for Raiders fans to use, or Raiders players to use to bet on the game. And get. Hey,
they're not the Falcons, all right?
They're not Calvin Ridley. No.
Games.
Okay.
But anyways, we can move on from that.
Most improved team, UConn or Vanderbilt? I think it's pretty easy. It's Vanderbilt because, dear God, Vanderbilt just annihilated Hawaii. And did you take Vandy? Or
I did.
Who was the other? You were the only one to take Vandy, I think. No. I was the only one to take Hawaii. Sorry, I was a dumbass. I took Hawaii.
Yeah, I took Vandy. I don't know why. I don't know anything about their team, but I definitely took them just because of the SEC type team. And plus, Hawaii was talking a bunch of shit before the game, and they were like acting like they were so good, and they had something to show Vanderbilt and stuff. So I just had a feeling that Vandy was going to come out and just. I didn't think they were going to beat them like they did.
No, I didn't think so either.
They definitely
They took out 5 years worth of frustration.
Frustration, yeah.
I mean, Hawaii. It's kind of funny. They're kind of in a weird position because their old stadium, that really big stadium they have, has been condemned. So it's going to be condemned and torn down. They're going to build a new one within the next over the next 4 or 5 years. But I'm like, that's kind of a waste because Hawaii hasn't been good since like Colt Brennan, right? So like that's the one that seems built. Otherwise, it's.
I mean, they weren't bad with. They weren't bad with.
20, was it 15 or 16?
Shoot, what's his name? No, the guy that was there pretty recently.
I know who you're talking about.
He was actually dating a girl that I know.
I know. He had long, flowy hair. That's all I can remember. I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
Now. But either way, so they built like they built like a small stadium on campus, and I feel like that, and they're gonna add to it over the coming years and build it.
Why is he still trying?
I don't know why he's still trying, but I feel like there we go. It's actually for once we can actually see him. Oh, never mind. It paused.
No,
oh dear God.
No, it's game over.
So can you guys actually hear me?
Yeah, except
you guys can't hear me at all.
You look like no, we can hear you, but you look like you're from the 90s and you're like at 120 FPS or
Ryan, just take the L, man. Just take the L.
Just take the L. Go away.
I'm sorry. Man.
I don't take L, man.
Oh dear God,
right, Connor.
Ryan,
kick him. I'm sorry.
Ryan, we can't hear you. Sorry. Ryan, we can't. We literally can't understand you. I'm sorry, bro. Ryan, you just gotta take the L, bro. You just gotta figure this out. Oh my God!
Just come back next week.
And now he's gone again.
Week. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. He'll just come back next week. It'll be fine. Have him. He just needs to give us his picks and everything so we can.
VDB Hawaii money.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I'll put that in the group
chat. But I will say that Jim Mora and UConn, like, they got something going on. I think that Jim Mora is a good coach still, and I think that they can put together some wins this year, and I think they can actually become a program that wins some games.
Well, they were on their way to being up 14-0. They scored a touchdown. They got a really long run early in the game. I came on just as that play happened. And then, then they were driving for another touchdown, and then they fumbled, and that kind of changed the game. Instead of being up 14-0, it was 7-7, and Utah State was able to take take the momentum away a bit. But
And Utah State, and the thing about Utah State too is that they received top 25 votes. Like, there were people that wanted them to be the number 25 team in the country. So the fact that UConn could still put up 20, only lose 11 to a team that got top 25 votes.
Utah State. They won. Yeah, Ryan just shared his pick'ems. But I mean, Utah State. They won the Mountain West, right? They beat my San Diego State. Damn it! They beat my San Diego State. Damn it. Okay, so here's Ryan's. I'm gonna write these down. So these are Ryan's pick'ems just for later. But I'll just say them.
What's the next banner on here?
Best thing you saw in week 0, just overall, I guess, and then we'll get into our other stuff. Best thing is also the worst thing, which I wanted to share, which I want us to be doing from now on, is that terrible punt attempt. South Carolina State dude literally runs 10 yards past the line of scrimmage and then punts it halfway to the first down marker.
That was technically week 1. True. Yesterday it counts as week 1.
Oh yeah, you're right. Best thing in week 0, just watching football, seeing football be played.
Yeah, I think it was just ball, man. I think best thing I saw week 0 was probably just football being played again. Packed stadiums, even though there are a bunch of teams that we don't really care about, it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch some of these teams come out there and, show what they've been putting together the last few months.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, it was a really good story seeing Ryan Helinski go out there and play really well because obviously, his brother committed suicide and, getting another chance to play ball at Northwestern, which is a pretty storied program, good program. and putting together one of the best games that not one of the best games I've seen, but just a really, really good game. Was cool to watch. I think it was really cool to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, we're going to get into our stunners and bummers. Stunners and bummers. Stunners are our best player or coach of the week, and our bummers are the guys who crept the bed in some way, shape, or fashion. Also, they can be a player or a coach. So let's go with you first. Who is your stunner?
So my stunner of the week is
we definitely need to try and figure out how to make graphics out of these to be able to show them with all their stats and stuff like what.
Or at least a photo of them or something.
Exactly. Like, we just need to do that. Just at least something.
A photo. But my stunner of the week is Illinois running back Chase Brown. This past weekend, he had 19 carries for 151 yards, 2 touchdowns rushing, 3 catches for 16 yards receiving, and a touchdown receiving. He is a fifth-year senior who was actually a transfer from Western Michigan. He was at Western Michigan his freshman year, transferred over to Illinois, had a 1,000-yard season this last year. I think he's going to be really good this season. I think he's going to end up having another 1,000-yard year and could possibly be one of the better running backs in college football.
Good choice. For me, I was going to say Helinski, but I think Ryan may have chosen him. I can't remember. So mine is Drake May, UNC quarterback. We were all kind of wondering how UNC was going to look without Sam Howell and all the weapons that they've had over the past 2 years. He went 29-37 for 294 yards. Not the most amount of yards, but he had 5 touchdowns, which is the most of any quarterback this
was that
season.
Total or passing?
Passing.
Wow.
Which is the most of any QB so far. So he's number 1 in the country. 0 INTs. So,
I do think Spencer Sanders had 5, but
maybe that's total. I don't know. I saw something ESPN said it was number 1, for touchdowns. But I mean, Florida Atlantic made it a bit of a game, or Florida A&M made it a bit of a game there for a little bit, and then they were within I think 11 at one point. And I remember Ryan's like, "Turn the game on. This is going to be a good game." And then immediately as I turn it on, UNC gets a touchdown, and then Florida A&M can't do anything. And so, pretty good. Also, real quick, even though we haven't gotten some, I have no idea what my pick'em record is at all.
I don't know what yours is. Mine right now is 10-4. I sent it in the chat, but yeah, I'm 10-4.
I have to look it up.
Yours is probably
maybe
9-3. You might have one more win than I do, I think, because you had a better record after the first day, which was last Saturday. So you might have a better record, but I can't remember.
Yeah, Josh took Wyoming, so he got that one wrong. He also took Vandy. I was the only one to take Hawaii, like a dumbass. Okay, so who is your bummer? The player or coach who crapped the bed?
Bummer of the week. I went with Andrew Peasley, the quarterback at Wyoming. The reason for that, he went 5 for 20, only 30 yards passing, which is a 1.5 yards per pass average, and he had an interception, no touchdowns.
Wait, 5 for 20 and how many yards?
30. In 4 quarters. I think
any of us could have done better than that. Dear God.
And I'm telling you this right now. Those are the only passing yards in the entire in the game for Wyoming. So it's not like they put in another quarterback to put in other yards. They had this only guy.
It's not like that weird thing where they do a wide receiver or running back throw and they get 50 yards on the play.
Or they didn't even decide to put in another quarterback, which was why? I don't know. They clearly conceded this game from the start.
They don't have Josh Allen, that's why.
Right. They did, however, have this this kid did have 8 carries for 78 yards rushing. So he's obviously a good runner, but terrible passer, clearly. But what's funny about this guy is that he actually spent 4 years as a backup at Utah State before transferring to Wyoming this year.
So he was behind like Jordan Love for a year or two?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He was behind Jordan Love. He started playing football and started at Utah, or came to Utah State in 2018 is what I'm trying to say. And 4 years down at Utah State, clearly didn't learn a lot. And he's not very good at Wyoming.
He's getting the Jordan Love treatment that Jordan Love is getting from the Packers, just sitting there doing nothing for 3 or 4 years.
I guess so. I mean, he has 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in his career. He's not very good. Wyoming is in for a tough season, I think, if they keep this guy at quarterback.
Yeah. So my bummer originally was not. I did kind of do it without really thinking about it. I chose Casey Thompson, but I don't think he, like you said, I don't think he had that bad of a game for Nebraska. So I'm just going to switch it to Scott Frost doing that onside kick.
That works.
No. Actually, no. I'm actually going to totally switch it up. I just realized Purdue's OC for a Falcon in it and not running the ball at the end of the game. There.
Well, that is part of week 1. That is part of week 1.
I don't care.
I'll allow it. For this week.
Purdue Penn State was in our pick'ems, so that still technically counts. But dear God,
they're in our week 1 pick'ems, not our week 0 ones.
No, they're not. Penn State Purdue was not in this week.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they were last week.
Oh, am I crazy? Okay, yeah, I'll count it.
You crazy? So, I mean, they got the ball. I think they had with 6 minutes left, and they ran it twice, and then they returned the ball with 4 minutes left or something, or punted it away. Then they did the same thing. They just kept passing instead of running the ball. I didn't see enough of the game to know whether they could actually run very well. But Sean Clifford, I saw a tweet, is Sean Clifford, he certainly can quarterback, is what people were saying. He's the first 58 minutes of the game, he's the worst quarterback ever, and then he turns into little Tom Brady in the last 2 minutes of the game. Is the Sean Clifford experience for Penn State fans. Because dear God, that pick 6 he threw was not very good. But yeah, but it really did feel like both teams were kind of trying to hand the game to each other. They were like, no, I insist. No, you take it. No, I insist you take it.
Yeah, so when you look at the stats of that game, it was pretty even. Purdue only had 20 more yards total. Neither team ran for over 100 yards. Purdue actually only had 70.
So I mean, they would have been able to waste some time, but they wouldn't be able to really move the ball to waste more clock. It sounds like.
Yeah, but they only ran the ball 23 times. I mean, they. How
many pass attempts?
Pass attempts 58.
Okay, yeah, that's way too much. That's ridiculous.
58 compared to 41 by Penn State.
I mean, yeah, Purdue should have won that game, and they just kind of gave it away by not running the ball there at the end, or at least trying. So yeah, that's my bummer. And then let's go with our surprise team of the week. Who is your surprise team? Oh, let me put the banner up. Sorry.
Okay, I gotta go back.
We don't have a surprise team. Oh my God.
It's fine. We'll just keep it on centers and bummers. It's fine. We'll just have it all together. So my surprise team of the week was actually Vanderbilt. So a couple things about their game: 601 total yards, which is, I think that's very good. Record. It's got to be pretty close. It's got to be pretty close at least. I mean, it's very good for Vanderbilt. They had nearly 250 more yards total than Hawaii did, which is a lot in a game against another team, which going into this game, it seemed like they were pretty even as of how good or bad each team was. It seemed like it was pretty even. So 250 more yards is pretty crazy. The crazier thing about Vanderbilt, they had 404 total rushing yards in this game. So they just
Vanderbilt, was running all over.
They just ran all over them boys in Hawaii.
Ryan, I finally took my out voice.
And also they only had 5 penalties, which is actually pretty decent for being your first week of the season. A lot of times we'll see like upwards of 9, 10, even 11 penalties in the first week of the season. So only 5 isn't too bad. And also, of course, Vanderbilt scoring 63 points, which is the most points the school has scored since 1969.
Nice.
That's, I mean, I know it's Hawaii, but it is not Power 5 school, but it is a FBS school. It's not like they were playing, North Virginia Tech A&M slapdick school for the deaf. Like they were playing an actual FBS school. So good for Vandy. Yeah, that was definitely a surprise for me.
So sorry, I'm writing down Ryan's pick'em, so I don't have to keep looking at my phone.
You're good.
So mine is Wake Forest. I think it was more just because it's winning. Could have just been that one guy who knew.
They are number 1 in the SEC right now.
That is true. So Wake Forest, it's more. Well, I mean, they won pretty big, but they were playing VMI. It's VMI, whatever. But it was more just surprising how well the offense looked without Sam Hartman, because we still have no idea what's going on with them. Mitch Griffiths was their quarterback. He went 21 of 29 for 288 yards and 3 touchdowns. The team looked really good.
He had a good game.
Which that's pretty good. I think that's probably for his first career start, more than likely. Now, Wake, I don't even know what's there's. Do we even have them as a pick'em this week? No, they probably have another cupcake game
for
of a schedule.
Week 1, I don't want to say. I don't know. No, not for week 1.
They play Vanderbilt next week. They're at Vanderbilt.
Oh, okay. We should have put them on the pick.
No. It's a week. It's the 10th. So it's a week from tomorrow. That could be a pick 'em for next week.
Do they have a bye week then? That's
that game was week. The game was like Thursday. They played that game like Thursday. They played like yesterday. So that's why. I think that's just it. They played that game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because we didn't have them in the pick'ems. Yeah, that's right.
No,
that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, but that might be a pick. That might be a potential pick'em next week. We'll just see if we're going to take Vandy or not.
Oh, it should be for sure.
Write that down for week 2. That's one game for the pick'em. So yeah, I mean that's surprise. That's just a surprise. Like you said, we have no idea. They're coming off of a really good season last year. But I don't think they're going to compete in the Coastal in the Atlantic Division without Hartman. So it's really going to be a 2-horse race between Clemson and NC State likely. But yet again, I'm going to keep saying this. I don't believe in NC State. I think it's just Clemson's going to win it, unfortunately. Yep. And then, of course, we don't have any memes this week because Ryan was moving, so he didn't have time. We have a really funny meme that only he would see. So our meme team of the week. I'm just gonna say right away it's Nebraska for me, just because even though I already said it's the
everything we've touched on.
Everything that we've touched upon. I think I just need much. We needed more. We have to say about that. So I just want to quickly get out of the way, and you can go.
Mine is Wyoming. Also something we've touched upon. They only had 6 total points in the game. They lost by 32 to Illinois. Obviously, I said before, they only had 30 passing yards total. And then another kind of stat line that stuck out to me is they were 1 for 12 on third downs.
Wait, what team was? Sorry, what team was this?
It was Wyoming, the old Cowboys. Yeah. So not much more I need to say about that. 1 for 12 on third downs. Yeah, they're not good. They suck.
Okay, sweet. So
Pick'em's time.
Pick'ems, and remember, Josh, you'll need to put them in the comments for the pick'ems as well. Real quick, let me finish running these down.
We do have a lot of games, so let's try to fly through these.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying. Wait, give me a second. He's taking.
Just write as winner.
I know, that's what I'm doing. And then what's the other one that I'm missing? Oh, Maryland. And who had he taken that one? Oh, he took Maryland as well. I'm already saying that. Okay, cool. So, Josh, didn't read my comment. How dare you? Right. So his surprise team is Illinois. He knew they would be good, but they definitely struggled. But they usually struggle to even drop these early non-conference games. Fair enough. Okay, yep. Cool. So first game, Tulsa at the aforementioned Wyoming. I feel like 6.5 is a little generous. It should be, or is a little too low. I feel like it should be a lot higher with how bad Wyoming was.
I think most of it is just we haven't seen Tulsa yet, so they could be just as bad. I'm taking Tulsa in this game, though. No, yeah, I'm taking Tulsa. After watching Wyoming, that's Tulsa for sure.
Yeah, Josh is taking Tulsa. I'm taking Tulsa, and Ryan is taking Tulsa. It's a clean sweep. Cool. We have Ryan. I already have yours, but thank you for mentioning it. Next, we have Kent State at Wazoo, a 22.5-point favorite. Of course, with Washington after last year losing to Montana, there's a potential chance here, but
I think they did up it by half a point, so 23 on ESPN, but it doesn't really matter. Washington is going to win this game.
Wazoo, I got Wazoo. Ryan has Wazoo. And
Wazoo is Washington State.
Sorry, I didn't know that. Oh, it is? I didn't know.
UW.
Oh, it's UW, right. Sorry. I have Washington. Ryan has Washington. And Huck the Fuskies.
Huck the Fuskies, baby.
So wait, So wait, Ryan, are you going to take Kent State instead? Because you have Washington.
He's taking Washington. You can't.
Okay, Washington. Okay, Middle Tennessee at JMU, and I think this is JMU's second year now, either first or second year in the FBS at the FBS level.
First,
pretty decent team. This is their first year. Oh, nice. So yeah, James Madison first game against the Blue Raiders in Middle Tennessee. I know how tough these guys are. They beat Maryland one time, and I had to watch that in person. That sucked.
What year was that? Did they have KB that year? Kevin Byard? Kevin Byard's number 20 jersey was actually the second retired number from Middle Tennessee's.
Oh, God. I mean, I can look it up versus Maryland.
Probably like 2014 or something.
2009. So
yeah, 2009?
I don't think Middle Tennessee. Isn't there. Yeah, 2009. Yeah, Middle Tennessee State beat Maryland at Maryland.
I'm gonna take the favorite here. I'm gonna take JMU in this one, even though it hurts me because I actually do I'm a little bit of I like any team that plays in Tennessee, so it does hurt me a little bit. But I'm gonna take JMU here.
Okay, Ryan is JMU, and Josh is taking Middle Tennessee. He's the one going against the grain with the three of us. We're all going JMU. That's where he's going to get a point potentially up on us.
I like it.
Rutgers at Boston College. Only a 7-point favorite, Boston College, which means it's really only a 4-point favorite because you get that 3 extra points at home, which is kind of surprising. Maybe it's just people aren't sure how Phil Jurkovec is going to look this year. And Boston College has lost a lot of players from what I know. I don't think they have a Zay Flowers, who's their best wide receiver. So it's gonna be interesting.
I do think Phil Jurkovec's gonna get it done. I'm taking BC in this one.
Okay, Ryan has BC, and I also have BC. Even though I would want them to lose, because they play Virginia Tech next week. Next we have SMU at 1-0 North Texas. SMU is a 10.5-point favorite. North Texas was pretty good last year. They were the only team to give UTSA a loss last year, I think, in a classic at the end there. SMU was also pretty good. So, who you got?
So another game that they upped by half a point at 11 on ESPN. So I'm taking SMU.
Yeah.
I think that North Texas looked good, but SMU in this one.
Ryan is taking SMU. Josh is saying he's taking SMU. Ryan says it's a hard one, but he's taking SMU, and I'm going to take SMU. So it's a clean sweep for the Mustangs. Next, we have BYU at USF. 11.5-point favorite for BYU. I kind of wish this was UCF, but UCF already played with that terrible punt attempt, but that at least wasn't them. I'm guessing you're going to take BYU so that they're going to look good for when Oregon beats them, right?
It's pretty easy. I really want BYU to win these next 2 games against USF, and then they actually play Baylor next week, so they're the week after this. So definitely BYU, and just because I think BYU is a better team.
Ryan, look at what Ryan said.
Go MILF Hunters.
I'm taking BYU. Josh is taking BYU. It's a clean sweep for the Cougars. Next, we got Louisville at Syracuse. This is the first of 2 games that Louisville is actually on here. Because I think they play tomorrow. They play tomorrow, and then they play again next week. I think that's why we have them. It's so weird having the week 0. It's kind of throwing everything off for me. But we're doing all the games that are being played before next Saturday, right? So that's why Louisville's on it twice.
That's how we do it. Because technically, it's going to be week 2 for them, but it's easier with our schedule. I'm actually taking
the orange.
I'm actually taking the orange in this one, the underdogs. I'm taking Syracuse. I am. I think they have the best running back in the country that isn't named Bijan Robinson. So,
Sean Tucker?
Yeah, I think that he is probably the number 2 running back in all of college football.
Josh, we need it. So, you're taking the orange? Josh says Louisville, even though he wants them to lose. That's fair. So, I'm also taking Louisville, so it's a clean split there between the 2 of us because Ryan is also taking the orange. We got Memphis at Mississippi State. Mississippi State is over 2 touchdowns favorite, which is kind of surprising. Memphis would be closer, but I remember Memphis had a bad season last year from what I remember.
I think it's because of probably a little bit of the animosity from last season and how bullcrap that punt return touchdown was that Memphis had against Mississippi State last season.
Oh, at home? Yeah, I forgot about that. I gave them the win.
I'm taking Mississippi State in this one. A lot of people actually think that Mississippi State could have been a top 25 team. I'm taking Mike Leach and the old the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs, right? Mississippi State Bulldogs? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Bulldogs. Ryan has the Bulldogs, and I have the Bulldogs, as so does Josh. It's a clean sweep for the Dogs. Next, we have Arizona at San Diego State. San Diego State's only a 6.5-point favorite when Arizona was bull crap last year. They were just hot dog shit last year as a team. Ryan has San Diego State, as do I. I'm going to keep Ryan with them this year. I'm going to keep Ryan with them.
I am taking Delora and the Arizona Wildcats.
Whoa.
I am. I think they're going to get this done. I actually think that Arizona's a lot better team this year than they have been in previous years. And how it
was. I was the only one taking them. You guys kept getting burnt last year. It happened again. But now you're the only one that's going against them. You're me this year. You're going against them.
I think they're going to win.
Josh and Ryan are both taking San Diego State. They're both taking the Aztecs. Next, we have Georgia Tech at Clemson. Clemson's a 21.5-point favorite. Oh dear God! And it's on ESPN. Who would want to watch that? That's the Monday
for some
night.
reason
Monday night game on ESPN. That's a Labor Day game. That's ridiculous.
For some reason, I didn't see the spread on ESPN for this one because I think it's because they're so different. He must have found this spread on something else, but Clemson across the board.
Oh, Ryan just pointed something out. Very good. Oh.
What just happened? That was weird.
You pulled a Ryan there.
Yeah, it was weird.
Ryan just pointed something out. Does it matter? Ryan's issues.
No.
That's a good point.
No.
Maybe. Okay.
No.
It's a clean sweep. It's Clemson across the board. We're all taking Clemson. It doesn't even need to be said.
Hey, I'm taking Clemson, and I think they cover that spread.
You think Georgia Tech keeps it close somehow?
No, I think Clemson ends up by 22 or more points.
I'm calling 28 at least. South Dakota State at Iowa. Right here, right now.
I'm pretty sure this – I don't know where he found this spread at because 15.5 is very low.
Well, Ryan's taking South Dakota State. So,
no, he's not.
No, that's what he has. He's taking South Dakota State. Wait, no, that was North Dakota State beat Iowa a few years ago, right?
He wants to take this L. That's fine with me.
He's
taking Iowa.
That's the game he's hoping he's going to get that extra pickup on us by them pulling the upset.
Nah, that's terrible.
Okay. Here's a game that is really close. Army at Coastal Carolina, only a 2.5 point favorite for the Chanticleers, or however you pronounce their name.
So when I saw this last, it actually went down to only 2 points, which makes me think that really, technically, if you think about it, Army is a 1 point favorite in this game. So yeah, I picked Coastal to win last week, and they looked terrible. So I have to go Army. I have to. I cannot pick.
I'm taking Army.
The Chanticleers again. I can't pick them again.
I'm taking Army. I think Coastal their honeymoon phase that they've had the last 2 years is kind of over, unfortunately, potentially. But both Ryan and Josh are taking Army, or sorry, taking Coastal. So that's where you and I are potentially going to get a point up on them.
I will correct myself. I picked Charlotte to win last week, not Coastal Carolina, but I'm still taking Army in this game.
Well, Charlotte didn't play Coastal. They played FAU.
I know. I took Charlotte. I was thinking that they were.
You thought it was Coastal? You thought
Yeah.
You thought they were Coastal? Gotcha. Okay. So, yeah, that's a split, right? You and me are taking Army. The two guys not here that are just watching are taking Coastal. Boise State at Oregon State. Oregon State is a 2.5 point favorite. I wasn't entirely sure. Obviously, even though you're an Oregon fan, you'll probably know more about Oregon State than I do. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I think that they usually have a good run game. I don't know who their running back is going to be this year, but they usually have a good run game. And then Chance Nolan's actually their quarterback. He's actually projected to be one of the better quarterbacks out of the Pac-12 this year. He played really well against the Ducks last year. Obviously, Oregon ended up winning that game, but he played really well. And what's happening?
Nothing. You're fine.
My computer is tweaking. Okay. If I seem like I'm fine, I'm just gonna run with it. But my computer
just keep going.
Exploding.
Just keep going.
Okay.
So who are you taking?
I'm taking Oregon State.
You're taking Oregon State.
Yeah.
Ryan's taking Oregon State. Josh is taking Oregon State. I'm the only one taking Boston. I'm gonna take Boise. That's where you potentially get some points. Potentially. I am not entirely sure, but that's where you get that. That's where you can get it. Houston. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to edit that. Houston at UTSA. UTSA had a great season last year. Houston is a 4-point favorite on the road, which really means they're a touchdown favorite anywhere else. Say it.
Sorry.
The best team in Oregon. Ryan says, "Give me the Beavs."
Ha 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 ha! So funny.
When was the last time Oregon State won the Civil War?
2 years ago.
Oh,
I want to say 2020, I think, was the COVID year. Was the last time they won it. Houston. I'm taking Houston in this next one.
Okay, you're taking Houston.
Yes.
Ryan is taking UTSA, and both I and Josh are taking Houston. So Ryan potentially could get a point up on all of us because of that. But we'll see. North Carolina at Appalachian State. UNC is just a 1-point favorite on the road at what are they? They're not the Mountaineers. What are they called? The Pioneers? What are they called? Appalachian State.
Appalachian State. I don't know actually.
That's a good question. I actually don't know. But Ryan is taking App State. As
I am also taking App State. I am also.
We're all taking App State because Josh is taking App State too. There you go. I'm happy to see that. Screw UNC. Screw them. Sweet. So Josh is taking Houston. Okay, awesome. Next we have Cincinnati at Arkansas. It's pronounced Arkansas. It's pronounced Arkansas. You numbnuts.
They clearly know something we don't, though. When I say this with that spread,
6.5 points is pretty good
because Arkansas has returned a lot, and they've gotten they have a lot of talent.
Sorry.
Cincinnati has not.
Josh is taking UNC. My bad. I didn't see that. He was slow. Sorry, Josh.
Cincinnati has not returned a lot of guys, so it is kind of confusing why they are only 6.5 point dogs. It's kind of weird, but I'm still taking Arkansas.
Read the chat. Sorry. Shut up, Ryan.
Jeez.
Ryan, you don't need to give your picks to me. I already have them down. You're cluttering the chat by putting yours in, dude. Okay. Ryan takes Arkansas. Josh is taking Arkansas. I'm taking Arkansas. It's clean sweep for Arkansas. Next, we have Utah. Number 7, Utah at Florida. They're only a 3-point favorite, despite being the number 7 team in the country.
It has to be because they're in the swamp. That's the only reason.
Yeah, it's only in the swamp, and the swamp's pretty tough to play in for the most part. Gotcha.
I'm definitely taking Utah in this game.
Okay. That should be a clean sweep. I'm taking Utah as well. Ryan is taking Utah, and just having fun, man. I'm doing it so you ain't got to look my guy. That's fair enough, Ryan. Josh, who you got? You got Utah. It's got Utah. It's a clean sweep for the Utes. Okay. The one you're going to go last for this one. Remember, Georgia versus Oregon. Is Oregon the home team or is Georgia the home team?
No, it's technically Georgia. It's a neutral site game, but it's played in Atlanta. So
yes, that's about
the most
non-neutral site ever.
I don't know who's technically the home team because they're both wearing home unis. So I don't know.
Nice.
But
but Georgia is a 17.5 point favorite.
17
over
dropped.
Oh, it's 17. My bad. It's gonna be 3:30 Eastern on ABC. I'll hopefully be able to watch that tomorrow. I have some work I gotta do. Right away, I'm gonna say both I and Ryan have Georgia.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that you guys all have Georgia. Clearly
Josh also has Georgia.
You want the dogs to win. I get it, but
okay. It's not even because of that. It's literally because it's pretty much it's a pseudo home game for them. 2, the defending national champions. 3, they're still probably a better team overall than you guys, and 4, it'll cause you some misery to see them lose. Oregon is technically the home team, apparently.
Okay, that's fine, but I don't think it matters because we're not the home team. It's played in Atlanta.
You're the home team,
they
but
get
you're
to
not
travel.
the home team.
They get to travel 30 minutes, and we have to travel like 1,500 miles or some shit like that. So
6-hour flight or something.
Yeah, so they're the home team, but I'm taking Oregon because of the fact that if I pick against the Ducks and they win, I'm the worst fan in the world.
Yeah, but what if you picking against them is reverse psychology and you pick against them every week and they go undefeated because of that? Would you be okay with yourself as a fan that way?
Yes.
Okay.
But I still think the Ducks are going to get it done. Bo Nix will not, and I repeat, will not be the first player in college football history to lose to Georgia 4 straight years. He will not be the first one.
Bo Nix. You just say Bo Nix will not be, and then that's all you need to say right there.
He will become the first ever quarterback to lose to Georgia 4 straight seasons, but that's not going to happen.
No Nix. Lol. Yeah, Josh, no Nix. Okay, next we have probably the actual true game of the week. Ryan's Notre Dame Fighting Irish at Ohio State. Not a neutral site. It's at Ohio State. Ohio State is a 17-point favorite. That's the Saturday night game on ABC. Crazy good game, potentially. But the fact that it's a 17-point favorite is absolutely nuts. I have Ohio State. Who you got? Oh, and Ryan has taken Ohio State as well.
Yeah, Ryan's a fake fan, but
He's a fake
I'm gonna
fan.
say I am gonna say Ohio State. I hate to pick for them, but I think they're gonna learn from the issues that they had in the home opener last year against Oregon.
Oh yeah, that was the second game of the year though.
Yeah, but it was still their home opener because I'm pretty sure they played in Minnesota last season.
Oh yeah, they did. Yep.
First week. So the home opener, they're in Columbus, they're in the Horseshoe. I think they're going to learn from it. They're returning a lot of guys. Obviously not Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave, but they're reloading with Marvin Harrison Jr., who had 3 touchdowns in the bowl game, and obviously Jackson Smith and Jigba, who could be the best player in all of college football. I'm definitely taking the Buckeyes in this one.
Yep. Gotcha. So it's a clean sweep for Ohio State. Another neutral site game, but it's Florida State at LSU at the Superdome in New Orleans. LSU is a 3-point favorite, which actually means it's pretty much a push. Actually, no, wait. Yeah, it would be if it was actually. I feel like that would be a push technically, wouldn't it be?
No, because it's neutral site. It's neutral site, okay. So it's not like it's at, and if it was at Florida State or if it was at LSU, then it would be a push. But either way, gotcha. LSU, I'm taking BK in this one. I'm taking BK.
Okay. You're taking LSU. I'm also taking LSU. And Ryan is also taking LSU. He doesn't want to take BK, obviously. He will want that man to burn in hell, but it's unfortunately not going to happen this week. And Josh taking LSU. This is a clean sweep again for I've had 3 straight clean sweeps. Actually 4 straight, excuse me. Actually, no, you didn't take
I took Oregon.
Sorry, no, my bad. I misspoke. Okay, here's the second Louisville game. This is it. Louisville at UCF. So wait, do they play USF and UCF?
Yeah, no.
Or do they play Syracuse? Sorry.
Yeah.
So they play UCF at UCF. Who you got?
I took UCF in this one. Gus Malzahn, I believe, is the coach of UCF. And I think he's going to get it done. They also got some good transfers in the offseason, so UCF in this one.
Gotcha. I am taking Louisville. Brian is taking Louisville. And now we just need Josh. Josh, will you take Louisville a second time? He's taking UCF. I don't think you can ever like Louisville 2 times in a row. And then our Week 0 podcast team of the year pick, Liberty at Southern Miss.
Do we want to do the filler game first, or does he have that one on there?
Doing our $1 game of the week?
No, Rice at number 14 USC.
Oh, that's a filler game? I didn't even know that was there. Sorry.
Yeah, it was just a filler game because we had to switch up the $1 ticket game, which was one of our games anyways. We're all gonna pick USC, but
We're all taking USC.
They're a 32.5 point favorite, but Rice has never lost to Alabama, so maybe they come out there and they beat USC. You never know.
I mean, that'd be hilarious if actually. I mean, Josh, you taking USC? Just real quick, I'm sure you're gonna take USC.
But now we can go to the team of the year.
Josh, Josh is taking USC. Yep. Okay, Liberty at Southern Miss. Liberty is a 3.5 point favorite. Both Ryan and I are taking Southern Miss because I don't think Liberty's going to be as good this year because they don't have Malik Willis.
I agree.
Because he's on your team now.
I agree. He is on my team, and I'm so stoked about that. But, yeah, I agree. I'm taking Southern Miss.
Okay, cool. So, oops.
I also do have Presbyterian still bookmarked on my ESPN, so I will be keeping track.
That's too damn funny. That's too damn funny.
The Blue Hose, baby.
The Blue Hose. That is fantastic. Okay. Josh is taking Liberty. Ooh, he's taking Liberty.
Ooh, okay.
So we're all taking – so all of us, the smart people that like Liberty – or sorry, that like Southern Miss are taking Southern Miss. Josh is going against us. How dare you? Okay. And our $1 ticket game of the week, which pretty much means actually usually this is our – actually the worst game of the week where we would only be willing to pay $1 for the game. But despite this probably is not actually going to be that bad of a game because Maryland could be somewhat decent, but you can actually get tickets for $1 for this game apparently.
Yep.
Which is hilarious.
If not for
the fact I have to work, I could have gone to this game, but whatever.
I looked it up and I was trying to find actual legitimate $1 ticket games, and this was the only one that came up for week 1 was this one right here, that you can actually get a ticket for $1 single dollar.
That's hilarious. So Ryan is taking Maryland. Josh is taking Maryland. They're a 24.5 point favorite over Buffalo, the Fighting Khalil Max, and I'm taking Maryland as well.
Yeah.
It's a clean sweep of the Terps.
Talia Tagovailoa.
And that's it. That is our pick'ems. Quite a lot of pick'ems. I feel like that's a little too much that we do every single week. I mean, that's what, 20 plus that we did this week?
It's good. It makes up the show, and I love it. We're all good.
Gotcha. So that has been the Week 0 podcast, guys. Unfortunately, Ryan's internet crapped out. This was just a terrible show all around. First we didn't do the intro, and then Ryan tried to come in here about 20 times, and it never worked. So yeah, Ryan's taking the Terps. But we will be back next Friday, likely with me from a different location, from my new apartment in West Virginia. That'll be fantastic and fun and a little bit scary for me, living on my own for the first time and making sure I don't waste my money. That's the biggest fear I have, dude.
It's hard.
Dude, that's the biggest fear. I know it is hard. That's the biggest fear I have.
If you look at the chat right now, you'll see what I've been looking at for the last 10, 15 minutes.
What the hell? Oh my god.
I don't know, dude.
I don't know either. That's everyone's internet except mine is effed up, but then I'm going to move into West Virginia, so more likely my own internet will also be effed up.
The cops are coming.
Hey, there it is. There's the cops instead of a dog barking, but pretty dang close. So this has been the Week 0 podcast, guys. We'll be back next week for more, and we're going to have a lot more fun games to pick'ems, more stories and bummers. Oh, there's a yawn right at the end. See, I'm just tired right now. Good yawn. But we'll be back next week, guys, and until then, we'll see you later.